Welcome back all my aspiring mathematicians. Today I am going to discuss about system of linear equations. So a system of linear equations is a set of two or more linear equations in the same variables. A solution of a system of linear equation is an ordered pair that is a solution of each equation in the system. There are three methods of solving a system of linear equations. It can be solved graphically, or it can be solved by elimination or by substitution. I am going to show you how to solve system of equation by elimination in this lesson. Now, what is elimination? Elimination means that you are going to cancel out something, or you are going to get rid of it or take something away. Therefore, we are going to apply that concept towards solving system of linear equations by elimination. Let's get right into it. Negative 6x plus 6y equals 6, and the next equation is negative 6x plus 3y equals negative 12. The first step that you're going to do in this process of solving the system of equation by elimination is that you are going to look for the variable that is carrying the same coefficient in front of it. And the variable here that is carrying the same coefficient in front of it is the variable x. You will notice that it has the number negative 6 in front of it. One thing I must say to you is that if you have same sign, then you are going to subtract. So you must remember that. Same sign, you are going to subtract. And different signs, you are going to add. So in this case, because the signs in front of the variable that we are going to eliminate are the same signs, we are going to subtract. So you must put your subtraction sign there. One thing you must remember is that when you have two subtraction signs together, or when you have a negative beside a negative, you are going to turn it into a positive sign. And when you do this, you are going to look for the next sign here, which is positive. Because you have the negative here, this will now be a negative. Same thing, because this is a negative sign in front of the 12 and you are subtracting, this is going to turn into a positive sign. So you must change your signs. Once you change your signs, you can go ahead now, because negative 6x plus 6x is going to cancel out. So that is canceled out. You will now have 6y and negative 3y, or you can say you're going to do 6y minus 3y, which is going to give you 3y. 6 plus 12 is going to give you 18. So you have that as your answer. The next thing you're going to do, because you notice now that the y is not by itself, in order to get the y by itself, you have to get rid of the number that is in front of the y. The number here is 3 and the number is multiplying onto the y. Therefore, you have to use the inverse of multiply, which is divide. So we are going to divide by 3 both terms, and that is going to cancel out, and now you will have y is equals to 6. So y is equals to 6 in this situation, and I always say first you're just going to put a box here so you know this is what you're using. And we are going to go on to the next step. The next step is that you are going to choose any one of these two equations and you are going to write it down. I will go ahead and I will choose the last one. So I have negative 6x plus 3y equal negative 12. Now you're going to substitute the value that you got for 6 into the equation. And I'm going to replace that with the 6 right now. The objective here is to solve for x. So while you're doing this, you notice that this will be 18 and you have minus 6x here, and this will be also negative 12. In order to solve for x, you have to get rid of what is added onto the x. So you need to get rid of that and take that 18 over to the other side. So the inverse of plus 18 is minus 18. What do you do on one side? You must do that on the other side. You will bring down your negative 6x here, and this will be equal to negative 30. Notice that the negative 6 is multiplying onto the x, and to get x by itself, you have to divide by negative 6, and you will do so on both sides. And when you do that, you will end up with x being equal to positive 5. So you cancel this out, x is going to be equal to 5 here. You box that part, but you're not finished. Now that you have your value for y and your value for x, you are going to write your answer now, and your answer must be written as an ordered pair. So you are going to write your solution here, and you are going to write it in a set of ordered pairs. Your x comes first, so it's going to be y, comma, 6. And this is your answer for that part. This solution 5, 6 is telling you that it is the solution for each of the equations. Let's test that. So we have our ordered pair here. We start off first with the negative 6x plus 6y equals 6. We are going to substitute our solution here. For x is going to be 5, and for y, I'm going to substitute the 6. So this is going to give you negative 30 plus 36 is equals to 6. Then you have to add this side. So definitely, yes, 6 is equals to 6. And yes, this is true. You will continue by testing it for the next equation, which is negative 6x plus 3y equal negative 12. And you will substitute once again your values for x and y. X is 5 and y is 6. So you will get negative 30 plus 18 equal negative 12. 30 plus 18 is indeed negative 12, and negative 12 equals negative 12. And yes, that is true. Yes, this is a solution in each of the equations. As you should know by now, I will never give you just one example. Variety is a spice of life, and I always want to throw in another example that has other things that you can relate to. So let's get into it. 2x plus 3y equal negative 12. And the other equation is going to be 5x minus 3y equal negative 9. You draw your line there. So you have the two equations now. Remember, you first have to look for the variable that has the same coefficient in front of it, so that you can get rid of that variable first. You will notice that the signs in front of the coefficient are different signs, or they're the opposite signs. So therefore, in this case, we're going to use this concept here where we are going to add. Okay, so we are going to add in this case. Remember the first example, we had to subtract. We will start first by canceling this out, because we know that this is the variable that we are going to get rid of. We are going to get rid of the y, therefore we need to solve for x. So 2x plus 5x is going to be 7x, and you have your equal sign. Our operation here is still positive and a negative here. This is still going to be a negative. So negative 12 plus negative 9 is going to be negative 21. So now you have to solve for x. 7 is being multiplied onto the x, so the inverse of multiplication is division. So we are going to divide both sides by 7. And when we do so, we are going to end up with x equal to negative 3. We're not finished. Now we are going to choose any one of those two equations, and we are going to rewrite that equation. So we're going to choose the first one. So I'm rewriting 2x plus 3y equal negative 12. I'm now going to substitute what I got for x into my equation. So I will do so. And I'm going to substitute my negative 3 here. 2 times negative 3 is going to be negative 6. Negative 6 plus 3y equal negative 12. You will notice here that you have negative 6 being added onto the 3y. You need to get rid of the negative 6 here and carry it over to the other side. And in order to do so, Since it is a minus 6, you need to do the inverse, which is a plus 6, and do it on the other side. Do it on both sides. So if we do a plus 6 here, this is going to cancel it out. We are left with the 3y equal negative 12 plus 6. And because we have 3y equal negative 12 plus 6, we can go ahead and we will now have 3y equals to negative 6. Now y needs to be solved by itself. So we notice that the y is being multiplied by 3, and the inverse of multiply is to divide. So we are going to divide the 3y by 3 and also the negative 6 by 3. And we will end up with y is equal to negative 2. So this is what we have for this last one. We are going to put this all together now, and we must write our solution. Do not leave these two boxes as your answer. No, points will be taken off. You must go further and write your solution, because you're telling others that this ordered pair is going to be your solution to both of the equations. So you have negative 3 comma negative 2, and you will also box this as your final answer. It is fine if you didn't box that, or if you just put a line underneath it, it is fine. But I chose to box it because you want to make sure that you're using this to substitute to get the value for the other variable that you are solving for. Now you will once again go and test your solution. Always test your solution to check. So we are going to write the word check here, and I will use the equation, the first one, 2x plus 3y equal negative 12. I am going to substitute negative 3 and negative 2 in this. So 2, and we are going to substitute negative 3 and negative 2. Negative 3 is the x and negative 2 is the y. So we are going to multiply this. It's going to be negative 6 plus, this is going to be negative 6. If you find yourself doing this, please don't leave it like that. Rewrite it underneath, and you should have negative 6 minus 6 is going to be equal to negative 12. So negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12 equal negative 12. And yes, that is indeed correct. You will continue by testing the other one. Life does not stop here. You must continue to check the other equation, which is 5x minus 3y equal negative 9. And so you will substitute your negative 3 and your negative 2 respectively for the x and y. So 5 parentheses minus 3, and leave space there. And I'm going to substitute it now, and I'm going to put in the negative 3 here and negative 2 here. 5 multiplied by negative 3 is going to be negative 15. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 2 is going to be positive 6 and equal your negative 9. You are going to add these two numbers here. Negative 5 plus 6 is going to be simply negative 9 is equals to negative 9. One thing I must say to you, I don't want you to stop here. Yes, we know that negative 15 plus 6 is equal to negative 9, but you must continue on, because you need to show that the number on the left is also going to equal to the number on the right in order for the solution to be true. Do not stop here. This line above, when you are testing, you must go to the end and only have two numbers there. One is equal to the other, and both numbers must be the same, and that is how you will know your answer is correct. Because when you're checking, one number must be equal to the other number. You're not going to simply have this math here where you know that negative 15 plus 6 is going to be equal to negative 9. No. For checking purposes, please continue to the next line. I hope that this video has helped you tremendously, and now you will be able to solve any system of equation that is given to you using the method of elimination. Remember now, elimination is all about cancel out, get rid of, or take something away. The two rules that you must implement when you are using the elimination method to solve system of linear equations are: one, If the signs are the same in front of the coefficient of that variable that you're trying to get rid of, then you must subtract. If the signs are different, as in this case, then you must add. Please go back and watch my video on graphing linear equations because you will need the skills from that video in order to solve system of equations graphically. Thank you for watching. Bye now and see you on the other side. Cheers.